support Biden's plan. Joining me now is Florida Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy, a Democratic member of the House Ways and Means and Armed Services Committees. Nice to see you again. Thank you for joining me, Congresswoman. Let's get right into this here because I understand you were just at the White House with the Blue Dog Coalition, which you co-chair, by the way. You also met virtually with Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. You were talking about the jobs plan. So give me your number one takeaway from these discussions. What did you learn about the interest of the White House and whether they're going to match up with more moderate Democrats?
Great to be with you, Alex. And yes, in our meetings with White House senior staff, as well as Transportation Secretary Buttigieg, the tone was positive and productive. I think it was a reflection of the fact that across this country, everyone understands, as your poll reflects, that we need to make investments to rebuild our nation's infrastructure and really create a 21st century jobs plan that enables people and the American people to get back to work. A lot of the details are still being hammered out. And I think the fact that the White House is meeting with Blue Dogs and other coalitions within the House and the Senate is a good sign that they're open to negotiating and open to constructing the boldest package that the votes will bear to ensure that we deliver for the American people. And so I think a lot of work lies in front of us, but the imperative is very much strong and agreed on in a bipartisan and across this country.
But there's not a dollar sign agreement yet. You have Senate Republicans who've unveiled the $568 billion infrastructure counter proposal. Pretty wide gap there between that and the more than $2 trillion plan from the president. Is there a compromise you can envision that actually gets something to the president's desk to sign?
Well, look, I welcome the Republican willingness to engage in negotiations. And I, like many others, want to do this in a bipartisan way because I believe bipartisan legislation is more durable and provides stability and predictability for the American people. But we also have to recognize that we are way behind on infrastructure investments. And, the proposal they've put up may not go far enough for the needs that exist in all of our communities. And I think I want to do bold things in a bipartisan way because inaction isn't an option. But there are a lot of pathways for us to make the necessary investments, whether it's through the appropriations process or through this larger infrastructure bill. And then let's also be very clear. The Republicans that are negotiating right now, there's only 4 of them. We need 10 votes from Republican senators in order to get a bill across the finish line. So they need to work on building their coalition as well.
Okay, yeah, good point you make there on the numbers. I know that you've been invited to attend the president's address to Congress on Wednesday. What do you specifically want to hear from the president?
Well, I'm really excited to have been invited to the address. I think it will be a vision for how we can build back better. And, as he nears his first 100 days in office, he has already worked with us in Congress to deliver immediate relief to the American people, including getting shots into the arms of every American, as well as getting checks into pockets as we try to recover from this economic recession. And I think his speech will focus on the path that lies ahead and what it looks like as we rebuild our country post-pandemic. I know there are a lot of challenges out there, but given his performance in the first 100 days, I'm very optimistic about the future.
I know, though, as mentioned, you are a member of the Blue Dog Coalition. There's a member of the Progressive Caucus that will be giving a response after the speech. Is that necessary in your mind?
People will give the responses that they want to. But, whether we are moderates or progressives, we are far more united as Democrats around values that are about focusing on the middle class and small businesses and working for the working family. We are united by those values far more than there are differences between the various ends of the caucus. What's different is the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Republicans who continue to try to obstruct a path forward to help working families pull out of this economic recession. And I think the focus will be on what the Republican rebuttal to the president's forward-looking speech will be.
All right. Florida Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy, good to see you. Come see me again. Thank you so much. Ready or not?